Speaking of thank yous, thank you to Claudia Sheinbaum for stepping up to the plate and just pushing back against Donald Trump. It seems it's not just Claudia Sheinbaum, though. Let's be real. It's the car manufacturers that went to Trump and were like, the f are you doing, dog? I don't think you understand how the manufacturing works, how the manufacturing of American vehicles works, okay? And they have delayed the tariffs on Mexico once again until April.
President often threatens tariffs. This time he went through with tariffs, and now we are learning that he is pulling back those tariffs. Let's start with Mexico. President Trump this morning had a call with Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum. He reported out a little bit of what they said, and in that, he said he is lifting the Mexico tariffs for at least a month. Let's take a look at his rationale as he explained it on social media. He said, I did this as an accommodation and out of respect for President Sheinbaum. Our relationship has been a very good one, and we are working hard together. He goes on to say to stop undocumented immigrants and fentanyl. Then he also is using this to contrast his conversation yesterday with...
Yeah, why are we watching ONN? Oh, this is CNN. Yeah, it's straight up One America News Network everywhere. New York Times' Michael Barbaro did a daily podcast about not the tariffs necessarily, but a little bit about the tariffs as well. And like Trump's actions against like fentanyl manufacturers in Mexico and the cartel, and how it's got the Mexican government shaking in its boots and it's got the cartel shaking in its boots. Like they straight up did a glaze piece on Donald Trump.
But no matter what happens, it does feel like the clear lesson from your reporting here. And it's a surprising one. And like you said, you were skeptical of it. I'll confess I was a little skeptical of it myself, is that tariffs as a tool of forcing a government like Mexico to crack down on a very deadly drug is effective.
I think what we've seen is that, at least in this context, in this month and in this place, the tariffs worked, for now at least.
It was one of the most shocking pieces of pro-regime propaganda I've seen from the New York Times in quite a bit. I mean, it was like Joe Brandon, his mental faculties are actually an order level of glazing. It's pretty crazy.
In seeing the pushback in the markets, he reacts and changes his mind. We're told he will be speaking on this later this afternoon. And the White House is also saying that the reciprocal tariffs, the bigger batch, if you will, is still going into effect on April 2nd. But I think now every time we talk about the threat of tariffs, we have to keep in mind, sometimes he gives them, and sometimes he takes them away.
Sometimes he gives them, and sometimes he takes them away. Okay, nice, dude. Thank you. Yeah, Donald Trump is doing some real wild stuff. I'm not gonna lie. This is truly the Ottoman Empire of America. Not even, dude. He's Turkifying the country. It's like, this is the Turkification of America and the Turkification of Donald Trump. Let's not deify Trump. I mean, he is the Christian caliphate, okay? He is the brave Christian warrior, the Christian caliphate. He's got the mandate of heaven. The true Caesar with the hair plugs. Oh.
Business owners, CEOs, investors, they crave stability. But what we're getting right now is a whole lot of uncertainty and frankly, chaos, right? It feels like each week or maybe even each hour, there's new tariffs that are threatened, right? Some of them kick in, some of them are pulled back at the last moment after a very good phone call between President Trump and a world leader. Others are still looming.
I'm a firm and committed believer in the idea that these people are still led by like some semblance of logic, and then there is that there are people in their orbit that know better, and they're the ones who are just like pushing and pulling on certain levers. But whenever I see stuff like this, okay, whenever I see Trump go out, say there's tariffs, and then immediately roll it back, and then say, just kidding, there's tariffs again. Oh, the tariffs just got 10 feet taller, you know? Whenever I see him do stuff like that, I do genuinely feel like maybe we are at the mercy of a madman. Like, that's not how it's supposed to go. And I still am not fully signed off on this idea that like, no, it's just like Donald Trump's world and we're living in it. Like chatters are saying stock manipulation, right? It's for stock manipulation. It's like market manipulation. That would be a logical answer. I don't think it's for that. You know what I mean? Like that would be logical. That would be logical if they're like actually trying to put together this like incredibly clever, devilish scheme. They're just taking advantage of the market movements over and over again. And I mean, you could trace that stuff pretty easily, by the way. You could definitely figure that out with ease. It wouldn't be that difficult if you saw like who's making the most money and then what level of association they have with Donald Trump from the stock market tanking whenever this kind of stuff comes out, who's like shorting it, right? But I don't think that that's what's going on. Why don't you think that? That's not true with offshore companies. You can't trace it. What do you mean? You can still see if someone is, I mean, they would be making billion-dollar moves. You know what I mean? Even if it's an offshore account, you can still trace it. You can trace it on the American side. You can trace the offshore companies. You just can't link it back to Donald Trump. Also, American companies don't usually offshore stuff anyway. Americans don't usually offshore stuff because we have inshoring. We have states in this country that basically work as a tax haven anyway and offer you a level of protection, offer you a level of privacy. Anyway, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying I don't even think that's the case. I think he's just like straight up going back and forth. There's no real decipherable reason behind why he's doing it. He's just like kind of doing it just because he can. It feels like, I don't know.
I mean, look at this tariff timeline. This is just tariffs related to Mexico, Canada, and China. And just since late November, there's been so many major moves. This doesn't even account for the tariffs that have been threatened on steel or aluminum or copper or the reciprocal tariffs or the tariffs on nations that threaten the US dollar. I mean, we literally could not fit all of the major tariff actions on one full screen. And look, if you're a CEO, if you're a business owner, this is not what you want to see, right? They famously hate uncertainty, but it's hard to imagine a more uncertain environment than this, because think about it, a lot of them are trying to figure out the cost of their goods, but they don't know what the cost of their goods is going to be because they don't know where tariffs are going to be. So they don't know if they should be raising prices or lowering them. Should they be firing workers or hiring them? Should they be investing more or less? There's actually an uncertainty index when it comes to trade policy, and it is through the roof. It has skyrocketed to all-time highs,
I think you got to get to a level of instability so maddening that the market confidence goes away. And that's officially where we're at. Like, normally, market response to the insanity that happens with Donald Trump doesn't really shake investor confidence all that much because they're just like, yeah, whatever. It's the American economy. Obviously, I'm always going to believe that the American companies are just going to be wealthier and wealthier. Market always goes up, never goes down, right? But now Donald Trump has done the unthinkable. He's shaken market confidence finally by spiking the football and then immediately you're trying to recover it and then spiking it even further over and over again. He's done the damn thing. There it is. Okay, I'm kidding. Hold on. Ignore everything I just said. As an apolitical content creator, I have to repeat once again that Donald Trump is brilliant and he's a businessman. How many businesses have you bankrupted? He's bankrupted 7, okay? Talk to me when you've bankrupted at least like 3 or 4, and then you'll understand the fascinating ways in which his mind works, okay? As an apolitical centrist content creator who doesn't do politics at all, who hates politics, who abhors politics, I'm here to tell you that what Trump is doing is based, actually. He's based in stock market maxing. He is stock market pilled, okay? He's Dow Jones pilled. He's doing that. Bankrupting 7 businesses means he's run 7 businesses, okay? That means he's run 7 businesses into the ground. How many businesses have you run? 0. Shut the up, okay? I'm going to do some pragmatic and nuanced political analysis here and tell you, trust the plan. Trust the plan, everybody. The 4chanification of internet has basically completed, and now virtually all Trump supporters are QAnon. You know, there's no more QAnon because everyone is QAnon. There's no more 4chan because everyone is doing 4chan. Fantastic. Dow Jones, more like Donald John Trump Jones. Yeah, that's right.
Very stressful right now because he's trying to follow it all, but he just can't keep up. And I would just note that from the White House perspective, I do think an element of this trade volatility is probably a feature. It's not a bug, right? The president views tariffs as a way to gain leverage over other nations. And so by keeping everyone guessing, it enables the president to put even more pressure. But look, Dana, we are seeing this show up in the real economy, and it is really starting to pressure things.
Yeah, and as you were talking, we just got an update on where the Dow is, Matt, down 500 points. And so this is clearly what Howard Lutnick was trying to arrest, that drop. Thank you so much for that. And we should also note that we're going to be talking tomorrow, no doubt.
I do like that the Trump administration is basically doing the age-old meme of listen up, liberal, and then you just like smear your all over the walls, and that's it. He's just like, yeah, do you feel owned now? Do you feel owned now? Guess what, dude? You're going to feel extra owned, okay? What now, libtard? Fantastic. Thank you.
Because tomorrow the jobs report will come out, and we already got an early indicator that it is not likely to be very good. I do now want to talk to some other terrific reporters that we have assembled today. Peter Hamby of Puck, Jeff Mason of Reuters, Mariana Sotomayor of The Washington Post. Thank you all for being here. Jeff Mason, I want to start with you.
Listen up, liberal, crashes the
you have covered
economy.
The White House for a few years on all kinds of policy, especially and including economic policy, and you were covering it during the first Trump go-round. So I think what Matt said about this being part of the strategy, not a bug, but this is kind of the way that the president likes to put his tariff policy out there, is true. But because there is so much, and it's already on top of a crisis of affordability in the United States, this feels different right now.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And I would piggyback on to something that Matt said.
Bro, it turns out when you don't have gay people in charge, the economy crashes too, just like the planes. It turns out DEI was holding everything together. We all were so disrespectful to the polycule enjoyers. We were so disrespectful to our trans allies. I am going to be extra woke, okay? I am going to be the rattiest of rad libs. Do you understand me? DEI or die, okay? Straight up. We need at least one paraplegic black trans person who is in a polycule at every corporate executive board to fix this right now. This problem is not going away, okay? And I don't even mean like a person that deserves that position. No, I'm not even saying that. We need to actually do DEI, as in the way that Republicans consider what DEI is, which is apparently when people who don't deserve positions of power get to those positions of power. I'm going to start hiring people off the street as long as they are not a straight white man. Okay? That's what we need to do. We're not stopping. Mandatory DEI now, mandatory DEI tomorrow. And not even like the normal version of DEI, which is just to refuse to stop doing the real DEI, which is for white people in general. Like, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about like the Republican version of DEI. That's what we need to do. I am trans. Put me in charge of something important immediately. Pronto. Okay? That's it. You don't even have to have qualifications. Just turn around and be like, I'm trans immediately. Okay, you're the head of the Department of Transportation. We have to do this yesterday. We have to fix this problem. Okay? We have to fix this problem instantly. Wait, ain't no way. Trump paused tariffs on Canada, USMCA trade until April 2nd. Yo, is this a meme? He also went back on the Canada ones too? What is going on, man? Yo, my favorite thing is imagining a world where Biden did this and how the Republicans would be having aneurysms on television every day to be like, this guy's obviously brain broken. Like, his brain is not working. What the hell? Dementia Biden. He's asleep at the wheel. He's like, we're going to have a recession, blah, 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 all this. But like when Trump does it, they're like, excellent move, sir. Excellent move. A brilliant 5D chess play, sir. You are killing it, sir. Incredible. Not to be too much of a nothing ever happens guy, okay? But obviously you can't the bag. The entire reason for the American government to exist is so that they can enforce capitalism and the hierarchies that are designed under capitalism. Get ahead of that. You can't kind of break that toy for everybody, no matter how charismatic you foresee yourself to be. This is also part of the reason why I was initially saying, like, I don't think Donald Trump is going to reverse the trajectory of Ukraine all too dramatically. I was wrong on that. I copped to that. Okay. Having said that, of course, I always said it was because of the terms, and it was the terms dictated by the battlefield that would definitely motivate Americans to take a different position on Ukraine, or at least try to do a managed ceasefire negotiation and bring that to the table. Donald Trump clearly is going above and beyond on that front, even though a lot of the policies that he is actively talked about, aside from, openly gaslighting and openly yelling about Zelensky being a dictator or whatever, the other stuff in terms of like mineral deals or whatever is the same principles that came from the administration prior. Yeah, I'm officially moving, aside from Vladipoo, I'm officially moving Donald Trump to the madness category as well. He's one of the few unique people that I think is indecipherable in the way that he operates. How many thousands of federal government employees have been fired and then rehired subsequently in the past month? It's got to be more than 10,000. He just keeps saying he's going to fire every federal employee. And then they go, oh, turns out they were actually doing some really significant stuff. Turns out they were actually working on some fairly important things. Oops, my bad. And then they just come back and they're like, please come back. We are rehiring you. Meanwhile, every dumbass Republican dick rider is running around being like, oh, Mr. President, you're killing it. Like how? I really want to understand how, I don't know, like the Asmongold fan base reacts to the Trumps turning on and off the tariff faucets. Like, what will it take for them to go, okay, maybe I don't fully comprehend what he's doing here. It's not like he's explaining why he's doing this. It's not like the reasoning for why he's doing the tariffs is actually a normal reason. He just says it's fentanyl and then moves on. Look at this about the hiring/firing. This is 100% in response to the jobs report leak where it shows Doge firing is tanking the economy, lol. Of course it is. I've been saying this for the past month. Yeah, I don't think people understand that the federal government, especially if you factor in the Department of Justice as well, is a pretty large hiring body, okay? It's one of the largest, and it's a jobs program. Breaking news from Newswire. Trump, I'm not even looking at the stock market. No way, bro. Oh my God. At this point, I want the tariffs. Off and give me what I want. Wait, what? Why? Just give me the tariffs, goddammit. The uncertainty is killing me. It's a real will they, won't they situation.